Welcome to Insurance Claim Radio, where leading hail loss consumer advocate Phil Coutu and his team of experts teach you how to avoid the pitfalls of hail damage claims and how to use his team of experts to get what you truly deserve under your insurance policy. Now, here's your host of Insurance Claim Radio, Phil Coutu.
Hi, I'm your host, and you're live with InsuranceClaimsRadio.com. My name is Phil Coutu. I'm a public adjuster, a regular adjuster, licensed contractor, roof inspector, and we specialize in helping the public with troubled claims. My guest in the station right now is Stevie Solomon, and he's a shingle manufacturer rep. And then I have Mike from Pro Roof Solutions, a friendly competitor. We're a show that's designed to help you navigate insurance claims such as wind, hail, fire, hurricane, and we're going to get right into it now. And Mike had some topics that we ended with our last show he wanted to get into, which are...
Well, you know, I think the one we were talking about were payments. Like, when should a consumer or even a commercial owner give payment to a contractor?
Well, my experience, and it's vast, is you want to hold on to as much money as you can. And if a contractor doing residential, so residential is separate from commercial, because often you do have to front money for a commercial. You have $1 million job, there's $300,000 in materials. You may have to pay something up front. But you're usually dealing with much more legitimate or long-term contractors. Still with a commercial contract, you want to keep as much money on your side. That's what I advise the public. But with a residential contractor, I personally would not pay a residential contractor until the materials arrived. Now, if you know the guy well and he's on your street, that's up to you. A lot of contractors want 10% or a third down, but I'm like, you know what? I get that all the time. When I used to do a ton of residential, now I specialize in large loss commercial. Mike does both. I wouldn't give a residential contract money down. I'd give them the money when the materials hit the roof, or I'd pay the material supplier first. And then as far as payments go, I would give them progress payments. When you've done 50% of the roof, I'll pay you for about 35% or 40%. Yeah, and you know, I would hold a little bit back on the contractor until after the job was done. That's me personally. I have a lot of friends that are contractors out there, probably not happy I said that, but that's what I would personally do, and that's my advice to the consumer. You know,
if you're a brand new contractor and you don't have a lot of money, I would sit down and make sure that you show the insured, this is the paperwork that we have, and to the homeowner, hey, also, they've paid for these materials. I'm going to need a certain amount of money to get started. You know, I'm a new contractor or whatever. In that case, you might be able to give up a little bit more. But, you know, like me, I absolutely don't require any money till your job's completely said and done. And it passes inspection.
And let's be clear with the public, any contractor that you hire that's on my show, whether it's myself, Mike, and a bunch of the other contractors we had in, they do not take money down on residential. We wouldn't have them on the show. You're usually doing with much more legitimate companies that are financially stronger who don't take money down. It's in your best interest.
And like you said, you know, you pay for the work done. So let's say you do the roof and you do the gutters and you do the garage door and you still have, fence and you've got, 3 more items. So, we do it as it's completed. So if we did the roof and the gutters and the fence, then you would pay us for that, all right? And I wouldn't give them the whole check, right? You're still going to hold that back on what's still due and owed to the contractor when he finishes and completes it. Then go ahead and give it to him, right? Then he's done his work and he's, worthy of that payment.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. You always want to get the work inspected. Everybody seems to fail that. Even if it's you just going online and getting up there. We don't want to advise people that aren't strong on ladders not to get up on roofs, but it really is advantageous. Take a good look at your roof or have it inspected. A lot of times people don't do that. I don't know why. They're depending on a government agency to inspect. Often they don't really get on the roof or they don't really inspect flashes. Just, okay, it's done. They're collecting their fees for the permit to get their tax revenue.
So what does it mean for a contractor to have liability insurance?
Liability insurance is really important. Problem is, just like in the insurance industry, these coverages are being limited. So you have to be careful. I mean, I just found out in my own coverage, which we're correcting, that we had a $50,000 cap if somebody was to slip and fall on one of our projects. I wasn't told about it, but I guess like every fine adjuster, the shoemaker's son never has any shoes. I'm a public adjuster. I should have read through my whole policy, and I have read it a bunch of times, and I missed that somehow. When I get my liability policy, I read it. And one of the other things I caught a few years ago is the open roof exclusion. They don't tell you, and roofers don't understand this. So I'm a public adjuster and a roofer, so everybody knows out there. And I used to run many insurance adjusters at reputable insurance companies. Open roof exclusion means that there is no coverage from the time you open that roof. Generally, it's worded different ways, or there's no coverage unless you've tarped that roof properly. So we're going to come back and talk about that in a few seconds here. You're live with rooftoproofing.com. We're on Insurance Claims Radio. You can reach us at 303-997-4247.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop.restoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, we're back with Insurance Claims Radio. We were going to pick it up. We're talking about liability insurance, Mike, and an open roof exclusion. An open roof exclusion, so the consumer understands, is basically if the roof is open in any way, there's no coverage. And guess when about 95% of the accidents happen on a roof when you get water intrusion. A tarp blows off, that would be an open roof exclusion because that tarp wasn't properly put down, or they just have felt on the roof. Oh, is that closed? No, your open roof exclusion is when you're doing the work. If a thunderstorm hits and you have damage, your roofer's not covered. So you got to go further when checking their liability insurance. And this program's also designed to help the roofer. Guys out there that are roofing contractors, you want to catch this, pay a little bit extra money, and have that exclusion taken off your policy because it's problematic when you have damage and when you have caps. A lot of times, even our subcontractors, we catch caps when they have water damage, $25,000. Well, if you're doing a commercial building and you have damage, that GC is going to be paying out of his pocket because accidents do happen. But what you want to do is when you have an accident with your contractor or GC, make sure they have the coverage and the ability to make you financially whole quickly. You know?
So if a roofing contractor was, let's say he tore off the roof ready to put on a brand new roof, and all of a sudden the storm comes over the city of Golden and it just got this big hail and smacks it. All he has is just the synthetic felt on, as an example, and it hits it, then that roofing contractor is going to be responsible for damage that goes into that house and any water penetration, correct?
Most likely, if he has a open roofing exclusion, and depending how it's written. If he could get it all tarped up and properly, which means no water got in, he's okay. But you got to read that open roofing exclusion. Just get rid of it altogether. Make sure they don't, confirm with their agent or their broker, or ask to see. A lot of people aren't going to read the roofer's liability insurance, but you can find out who their broker's agent and just say, hey, we're contracting with this roofer. Can you confirm if they have an open roof exclusion or if they have coverage when the roof is open? Boom. That's it.
Of course, I've got a lot of gray in my beard and my hair, and I'm kind of losing it. But, that's when you want, a roofing contractor and his expertise. Like, when we're doing a roof and we see the storm, we're always communicating and contacting our labor crew managers and crew saying, hey, we've got a storm coming over, pretty hard hell. I want you to do sections of this roof. I don't want you to do the whole roof. I don't want to leave it open. So, we get into the, a little bit of the, old expertise there of roofing.
Well, and let's be honest with the public. I've been doing this now, I think, 34 years. Yes, has Phil Coutu or Rooftop Roofing have had a couple incidents with open roofs? Yeah, one was down in Colorado Springs 5 years ago. We had a monster flat roof on a church, and our guys dried everything in, and they used a shrink wrapping product to seal it in for the night. and we happened to get about 4 inches rain and 1.5 inches hail, which punctured our shrink wrap tarping system for the night, and we flooded out a good part of this church. So what we had to do is tag our subcontractor, which he had a 50 grand limit, so we had a little bit more damage than that. But main thing is we got our water dry out crews in there right away, and we corrected the incident, and that's what you do. But things are going to happen, so you definitely want to choose financially strong companies that have a great reputation, and somebody you feel comfortable with, and ask them what happens when this happens. Now we actually had coverage for that. Since it didn't go more than about 65,000, we got 50,000 from our subcontractors insurance, and we paid the other 15 grand out of pocket ourselves because we don't want to put a claim in for 15,000. That's another thing for people to remember, is you want to be careful the number of claims that go in. You want to make sure it's a good substantial claim. These things are being tracked on your claims loss ratio, and it can affect your insurance premium down the road.
And Phil, also, we're very, very keen to looking at the weather and, and what's coming in. And, you've got special devices and stuff. We have different programs that we look at. We pay extra money every year to make sure that we can see what's happening with the weather, and also, what damages are happening to our roofs and where at and, what size.
Yeah, it's an important thing. You're sitting with a panel of experts. We do specialize, everybody on this panel, on insurance claims, whether it's fire, hail, hurricane damages, wind damage. The experts you have on the roof right now, we're more exterior based. However, I've done $1 million interior projects as well. There's a definite high-end experience when it comes to hail on the panel right now between myself and Mike Neely, and then we got Tamco rep Stevie hanging on the side here. And it's just important. Yeah, ex-Tamco rep. Shingle manufacturer rep nonetheless, though. And these things are important when it comes to your contractors. Really, really important. Because we've had several instances where we've had water come in the building during storms. And the best thing is to have a contractor that's financially stable, and they can fix it up right away. So you're going to look at their time in business, the type of jobs they do. If they can handle bigger jobs, they're probably financially more stable. And that kind of thing is what you want. Other tips to watch out for roofers, Mike. What have you seen out there? Let's talk about some of the people you've seen wronged by roofers.
Unfortunately, almost half the roofing contractors that come in from out of state. Not that they're all bad. When I first started, I worked for a company that was based out of Houston. They were storm chasers. They, 25th largest in the country. Really great roofing company. I got to learn from one of the best. But, like I said, never give any money to anybody until your work's completely said and done. But, I see stuff all the time where somebody will come in and they'll even have the roof loaded and take the first check, and all of a sudden they go off to some unknown place. We have, Chuck in the truck from Minnesota that came here, and we don't know.
Chuck in the truck.
Yep, everybody knows
Chuck always gets a bad rep, you know what I'm saying? Poor Chuck.
Yeah, if you're a sales rep and you got the name Chuck, you're automatically in trouble. Anyway, but, so he's coming in town here, and all of a sudden you see his funky little license plate, and he doesn't have insurance, and all of a sudden you're kind of like going, hey, man, I don't know if I want to do work with this. So, do your due diligence, check them out, check them out with the BBB, check them out with the Attorney General, make sure they're good, even ask your insurance. Sometimes the insurance carriers, can kind of guide you and lead you, or your neighbors.
And something else came to mind. Make sure not only do you check their liability insurance, in this day and age, you won't believe how many roofers have fake liability insurance. It's really easy to have insurance, let it get canceled, keep that insurance certificate, or create a PDF. So what you want to do to protect yourself as the consumer is call on that insurance and make sure it's still valid, because it's going to show on the certificate it's valid for a year period. But since everybody's making monthly payments, it automatically gets canceled after 30 days if you don't pay. Super important, happens all the time. A roofer signs up for liability insurance, lets it gets canceled because they save a ton of money. They're really operating with no current liability insurance. So call, ask them for a copy of the insurance, get the number. It should be on most liability insurance where to call to confirm, and confirm in writing by email that it is valid.
Yeah. You know, one of my favorite customers is a customer when we pull up with their trucks and they look at our, you know, the name on the truck and they do research on it and they're able to say, hey, man, yeah, I see that you guys have done great work. Oh, I've read your reviews. I've seen you've done. So all these things play a part. And that's what I love. I love a customer who wants to educate themselves because it makes the process easy because the trust is there. They see the work we've done. They're confident in when they meet us. And they're able to see other customers that have given us great reviews to be able to trust us and to move forward with the job.
Yeah, and it's the property owners, you know, it's their responsibility to make sure they check it out and it's all good. You know, I mean, we like to educate them. And of course, we have, you know, beautiful pamphlets that has all of our, you know, our insurance in there, and it might even have a, you know, a little
reference list, right?
Yeah,
have that,
you know,
Mike.
I mean, yeah, we have, you know, suppliers that give us reference, say, hey, we pay our bills on a weekly basis, et cetera, you know, and so. But I highly recommend do your due diligence, check them out, make sure they're good and in compliance with ordinances of even, you know, if they're in Jefferson County or Adams County or whatever, check them out, make sure they're good in your county.
All right, you're live with insuranceclaimsradio.com. I'm Phil Coutu. You can reach me at rooftoproofing.com or 303-997-4247. We'll be right back after the break.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftоprestoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
All right, I'm your host, Phil Coutu, and you're live with insuranceclaimsradio.com. We're just talking about liability insurance. We're going to move on. We got about 9 minutes left here. We're going to talk about insurance scopes. And Mike brought up a good point because a lot of times insurance companies say, go to get 2 or 3. I'm going to let you say that live.
Yeah, hey, what is the scope?
2 or 3 estimates. And you're like, well, why should you be doing the work for the insurance company getting 2 to 3 estimates? Should you not be finding a quality contractor that's going to write a proper scope? So most scopes on residential contracting, when it's an insurance claim by the insurance industry, are underwritten. Not all, but you're going to find more so than not. So you get paid your $15,000 and you're going to get 3 estimates based on this crappy scope. And a lot of contractors don't know how to handle insurance.
And what's the scope?
Right. You want a contractor that's going to say, hey, listen, they missed the damages on the frames of the window. I was up on your roof. They're paying a roofer to change the furnace vents. It should be a registered licensed AC contractor because of the risk of death and carbon monoxide. They missed the paint on the fascia. Oh, by the way, you got space decking and you're going to need to have a redeck. That's missing. So very, very important for you, the consumer, to get this, because nobody does. Don't be so worried about price. You're under contract. Your big thing is your contractor is going to do it for the final insurance settlement. And then you go get a few contractors to do a proper scope. Lots won't want to do it unless you sign a contract with them. And that's fine if they're a reputable contractor, because to do a proper insurance scope takes several hours now. It used to be in the old days, okay, it's going to be this, check your boxes, you're out of there. You can do your scope 10, 15 minutes. So the public understands the insurance company. And there's also... I believe there's a statute or a regulation passed demanding that line items now are broken out when it's insurance claims on residential. So, and the problem is, and you're speaking to a guy that ran insurance adjusters, many line items by insurance adjusters are missed or limited by the insurance company, and then you've got missed damages, and then you got possible where they're only paying to repair your stucco or repair your window frame when they actually owe you for a whole brand new product. So you want a reputable contractor to go do a proper scope. And Mike, let you elaborate on scope.
You know, scope, basically. Scope is the paperwork that the insurance company will give you, all right, so you can understand what they're paying for. So, you know, you might have 10 or 15 pages in that scope, all right, which is just a basic line item, all right, of what they've paid for. It might be roof, might be gutters, might be fence, whatever, but you'll be able to see in that. And, you know, the insurance companies don't want you to understand the scope, all right, of the damages that are done. So when a customer looks at that information that they've gotten from their adjuster, you know, most people look from left to right, and most people have what they call an actual cash value policy with an ACV, with RCV, with recoverable depreciation. That recoverable, they're going to depreciate so much of that roof or whatever it might be, and you'll recover that. It's typically an act of God or whatever that caused that, so you are definitely, you know, can get that back on it. And so, but on the scope, you would look from left to right, not right to left. They want to confuse you and make you not understand what's happening there. So, you know, and that's our job, you know. And please call us, you know. We can help you in that, you know. And my direct cell phone number is 720-628-7293. Phil, what's your number again?
303-997-4247. You can check us out too at rooftoproofing.com if you need to get a hold of anybody on the panel.
I mean, speaking of missed products, me and Mike were looking at a scope just the other day, and you wouldn't believe they missed nails. They're not even paying for the nails and the underlayment. And so things like that, I mean, simple things that the contractor missed. I know the homeowners are primarily focused on price and saying, hey, listen, give me the best price. Listen, as Phil said earlier, we are under contract to work for what the insurance is going to pay us, and we're just making sure that all the components necessary to put your roof back to what it was prior to the loss, that is what our responsibility is. And so we're going to go after making sure that every line item is there that's supposed to be there, and that's the things that are missing. We're going to make sure that we're going to go after to
you know, Stevie, we give free, we'll go out and give a free estimate, all right? And a lot of times I'll spend an hour or two on just writing an estimate. I may or may not win that contract. 98% of the time I'll win it, but, you know, we spend the time and the effort. We take the pictures and the documentation and all that stuff to be able to win that customer. And so, you know, I mean, look at that. I mean, you know, when a contractor out there is going to try to take a bid, is he just going to say, hey, I'm here, I'm from Chuck from Minnesota and whatever, and he's just going to move on? Or does he really take the time to look at your scope, to sit down with you? You know, does he have the proper insurances and all that? I think it's all important, like you said. Once you get from A to Z, you know, then you'll know who to pick and why you want to pick them.
No, it's important because, you know, the Government Accountability Office out of Florida did a study. It was sometime around 2007. You can look it up online. And one of the years of the study, they found that hiring a public adjuster, the smaller claims averaged 700% more than the insurance company's first offer.
Amen.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's a true fact. The year before it was less. But the insurance companies had tightened their belts more after the hurricanes in 2004, 2005. So I think the study was done on 2006, approximately around that time frame, and it was shocking the percentage that a public adjuster increased. And now I'm a public adjuster, so everybody knows out there. But those are pretty great stats. That even on a smaller, these are on water claims, I believe, they averaged over 700% more in claim settlements than the insurance company's first offer. So if you have a home, you know, and you're just going to go get 2 or 3 estimates based on insurance company scope, don't you think the best thing to do to protect your property, your investment, is to get a proper scope looked at? And here's the big problem is everybody's going so fast these days, so contractors aren't going to give you that proper scope unless you're going to commit to them on the insurance claim, because it takes 2-3 hours sometimes. I have scopes sometimes that take me for a residential a day if there's water damage and loss. And I'll tell the people, here's an example of a scope I do. It's 500 pages with pictures. If you'd like to contract me, that'd be great. We'll take great care of you. But this is what we're going to do. If you want me to give you a rough price ballpark, here, let me see your insurance paper. Okay, I can tell you your insurance is missing. Boom, 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 boom. Here's why. I'm an adjuster. You want me to do a full analysis? I'd love to, but you got to sign up with me. And that's okay, because we're going to go take the hard work. In the old days, it was like one price fits all. But now, because of regulatory agencies passing laws, we got to break all this stuff out. And you're going to find contractors, they're not going to spend the 2-3 hours writing you a standard residential scope
So
unless you're going to commit to them.
How important is hiring a public adjuster? I know maybe 6, 8, 10 years ago I would use a public adjuster maybe 6, 8, 10 times, and then maybe 30 times. I bet I've used one 50 times this year just in residential, and almost always in a commercial application. And why would we do that, Phil? Why would we hire a public adjuster?
You can hire a public adjuster for the following reasons. A contractor tells you the insurance company's way underpaid your claim or underpaid your claim. You have hidden damages. You might need forensic damages. You got water running through the walls. The insurance company is only paying for what they can visually see. You want to get some infrared, shoot that wall. Maybe it runs 20 feet. You could have a mold situation, creating you further liability after the statute of limitations runs. Other reasons, they told you your roof's repairable, your stucco's repairable, your hardwood floors are repairable. I once was an insurance adjuster. My own case manager told me, Phil, what does the policy say in Florida? To repair? Yes, sir. Well, then you cut that floor off at the room. And I said, well, okay, I'd love to cut the floor for the room, but there's no threshold there, so they run straight through. No, you cut it off, put the threshold in. The public adjuster, this is like 2004, walks out to me and goes, really, kid? And I said, yes, sir. We're just doing the room. Drops a statute on me that says, by the state of Florida, that says if the floors were continuous, you're going to sand the entire, repair the area that's damaged, sand and match the entire area. I sent it in. I paid for the whole floors an extra $100,000. This is a beautiful house, West Palm Beach. My case manager didn't say boo, but my own case manager for the insurance company wasn't honest with me, and he was actually one of my friends.
So what do they mean by continuous?
Well, the floors were continuous, so they ran out of the bedroom. There was no threshold. There was no break in the floor line, so they're continuous. So they got to sand the whole floor. They got to put you back to pre-loss condition. So that's going to be a wrap for this show. You're live with Mike Neely, Pro Roof Solutions, Phil Coutu, rooftoproofing.com. You can reach us at 303-997-4247. That's 303-997-4247. We do free consultations for residential and commercial losses.
Thank you for listening to Insurance Claim Radio. For more information on how to maximize your hail damage insurance claim or to contact Phil and his team, call 303-997-4247. And be sure to tune in next week for more Insurance Claim Radio.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftoprestoration.com.